under Uniform Commercial Code 440.2511 by tender of payment 2 and 3.
It's not applicable to this case.
And could you tell me why, Your Honor?
Because the UCC doesn't apply to this circumstance. Sir?
Yes.
I'm asking
A self-declared sovereign citizen recently walked straight into a legal buzzsaw in Judge Simpson's courtroom. This individual tried to pay rent with what looked like a cashier's check, except it was completely fake and weirdly featured Korean characters. Judge Simpson, who's built a reputation for cutting through nonsense like a hot knife through butter, didn't hesitate to call it out. He laid it down plainly. If it's not recognized legal currency, it doesn't count. Sure, we all know. Rent can be a struggle, but trying to dodge it with monopoly money in disguise? That's a whole new level of delusion. Yet some sovereign citizens genuinely believe they can just rewrite the rules of finance and law like they're living in a parallel universe.
Good afternoon.
How you doing, Your Honor?
What's your name, sir? What is the claim in this case?
Judge, this is a non-payment of rent action with a money judgment being requested as well. I'm showing that rent is due in the amount of $1,588, court costs of $217 for a total rent retained of $1,805.
And sir,
Yes.
how do you intend upon paying this?
So, Your Honor, I actually tendered payment to Group 5 Management on November 3rd. And my form of payment was refused.
Was what?
My form of payment, she refused payment.
What was your form of payment?
A cashier's check. I actually have the voided check here. And I'm asking for
You had a
Yes.
cashier's check? Let me see.
This is also a refusal of an email from the landlord. All right.
Danny, do you know anything about the refusal of payment?
I do not, Judge. Obviously, I'm standing in for Mr. Weiss. I believe my client or the client was supposed to be on. My understanding was that it wasn't a cashier's check. It was a counter or a check. And the reason it would have been refused was because he's had more than 3 checks come back as insufficient funds. But I would ask if I don't see if he's on here, Judge.
From Randolph Court or Group 5 on the Zoom? We don't have anybody checked in.
We don't.
Email.
Judge,
Hang on, Ms. Zane. He has an email saying about the refusal. Well, it's a text message screenshot.
Yes, it's an email. I actually
Okay.
screenshotted it.
And it says,
If you enjoy content like this, make sure to like and subscribe. It really helps out the channel. Let's get back to the video.
from somebody with the last name of Aslam, ASLAM, indicating that they received the rent check in the sum of $1,238, which the check that he showed me was in the form of an over-the-counter check. However, must be certified funds. And then, second page, as the system will not accept this, maybe. But
yeah, Judge. My notes on the ledger show counter check, which is a check that's not. It's one of the ones they give you from the bank, and so again, that's the position I was taking anyways. But it was refused.
so, sir,
Yes.
is there a reason why you can't get certified funds to the landlord?
Well, they actually accepted December's rent from the same check, Your Honor, from my bank.
Okay, but if
Well, because it costs, and my defense is that under Uniform Commercial Code 440.2511, by tender of payment 2 and 3,
it's not applicable to this case.
and could you tell me why, Your Honor?
Because the UCC doesn't apply to this circumstance.
I'm sorry.
The UCC doesn't apply to this circumstance.
It's a commercial transaction, Your Honor.
The UCC does not apply.
Okay. So where could I find this at that says that this isn't a commercial transaction?
That would be your assertion. I'm telling you it doesn't apply to this.
Just for my understanding that the Uniform Commercial Code governs all commercial transactions in commerce. And so based off of this law, tender of payment is why my defense is that once the tender of payment was refused, at that time the charge or the total amount was charged.
Even if you were to do that analysis, you can't then have unjust enrichment, which means that you want to move.
I'm sorry?
You can't have unjust enrichment, so you'd have to move because you can't have the apartment and not pay.
No, I mean, I paid the rent. They took the exact form of payment.
Showing up to court armed with bizarre legal theories and zero respect for the system is like bringing a rubber sword to a real battle. It's not going to end well. In this case, the squatter truly believed the fake check would be accepted as valid rent. But Judge Simpson didn't need more than a second to see through the act. He shut it down swiftly, reminding the courtroom that only actual U.S. currency counts when settling debts. That phony check didn't just fail, it made the man's situation even more cringeworthy. And unfortunately, this isn't a one-off. More. People are showing up with outlandish arguments, as if simply declaring themselves exempt from the law makes it so. Spoiler alert, it doesn't.
Sir, are you going to tender a check or no? Or certified funds to them?
I'll tender payment.
Are you going to tender certified funds for the 1805?
So, Your Honor, my rent is $1,238, and just the extra $700, $600. I'm not sure where it's coming from, but if they accepted the rent payment and from my bank in December, I don't know why they wouldn't accept it now. They refused November, and then they accepted December.
Sir?
Yes.
I'm asking a very simple question.
Yeah.
Are you going to tender certified funds to them in the amount of 1805?
I will surrender. I will submit funds.
Certified funds to them.
I plan to. It costs me to do certified, so I would.
As does the NSF transactions that they've had in the past. So that is my question to you. Are you going to submit certified funds?
I'll submit certified funds
In the amount of 1805?
I like to debate that amount because I'm not sure where that amount's coming from. My rent is $1,238. In court costs, I'm not sure what the other $600.
All right, here's what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
Defendant to submit $1,238, which at this point is the undisputed amount in certified funds to the landlord no later than December 29th, 2023. And then we will look at the disputed amounts. I will adjourn this matter to January 5th, 2024 at 2 p.m. And I would just note to you, Mr. Smith, that if those funds aren't in, I'm not hearing any additional argument. I will be granting a judgment, which will be for the full amount, plus what will at that point be January's rent.
Your Honor, also, the 4th I have to work, so every time that I'm coming here, I'm having to take off for work. And
Sir, I cannot help that.
I mean, is there a way that we can set a different date?
That is my next day.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
But as Judge Simpson firmly reminded everyone in that courtroom, reality has a way of catching up, no matter how elaborate your fantasy. Now here's a question to chew on. Was the judge too harsh, or was he just keeping things grounded in reality? Should squatter protections be stronger, or is it time to make those laws a bit tougher? I'd love to hear your take, so drop your thoughts in the comments. Until next time, stay sharp and stay legal.